Hi, my name is Stravia. This is my very first video on YouTube, so I'm not used to this and I'm not sure how it goes, but I am taking the MCAT right now and I thought I'd give some of the advice I had to whoever needs it because I am always looking for MCAT advice at the moment. So yeah, I'll get started. Um, oh yeah, and I'm an undergrad student at Emory, just in case anyone wanted to know, and I'll be a senior next year. But yeah, okay, so the first question I get asked about the MCAT by like my younger friends is whether they should take a course or not. That really is a hard question because it depends on the person, but I will tell you why I felt like it was important. Um, I thought that the course would give me a lot of discipline, which it did. Um, I needed that discipline to study, and some people don't. Some people are great at studying by themselves, but it is a lot of material, and it'll take you a long time to study. So if you need that, if you need any kind of discipline when you're normally studying, I would take the course. They're about like $1,500, I believe, like around that. So it's something to consider. But I felt like this is, if this is your most important, uh, one of the most important tests you're going to take in your life, you might as well put some effort and money into it if you haven't. And so yeah, that's something considered. Um, so yeah, the next question is whether what kind of course you want to take or what kind of books you want to buy. Whether it's Princeton Review or Kaplan or Examkrackers. So I took Princeton Review and I did a lot of research about it before and I asked a lot of friends and majority of them said that Princeton Review was the best course. And from my research, what I found out is that Princeton Review books are a lot more detailed. So even though some sources they say they're like too detailed, excessively detailed, but I felt that like I would want a more like thorough explanation of everything, and I'd rather have more details than not have enough because I kind of need to understand everything to take a test. So yeah, that's Princeton Review. Kaplan, the only thing bad I've heard about it is that the verbal section isn't as representative of the MCAT. It's a little easier apparently. So yeah, just watch out for that if you decide to take Kaplan. But also Kaplan offers a lot of like discounts and stuff from college campuses. So if you're trying to look for a cheaper course, it's definitely better to take a course in my opinion. So yeah. Um, yeah, so another book that I bought is um, well, for a Princeton Review, you get like a book for each subject. So you have like a bunch of books, and then you get a science workbook and like a verbal workbook, stuff like that. Um, I I was looking up online, and I heard that the best for verbal is actually Examkrackers, and I read that like everywhere online. So buy Examkrackers for sure for verbal because that's the most representative of the MCAT, and if you practice that you do well on it, then you're gonna do well on the MCAT. So buy that. Um, for anyone who's bad at physics, which I am not that great at physics, I was kind of freaking out because I wasn't doing that great. So I looked up everywhere online and I found this book, which is the Nova Physics MCAT book. It has like 500 physics problems in it, and I read online they were like, if you do this and you get through this book, then your physical science score will be perfect. And my physical science score actually improved by 4 points after doing half of this book. So I'm really excited for what will happen after I do the whole thing. Yeah, so yeah, definitely get that book if you're not good at physics. And I've also heard that the Berkeley Review is really great for the science sections and not so much for the verbal. Verbal is a little easier, I think, than the real MCAT. So yeah, keep that in mind. Yeah, so those are the different types of courses and books that you can get. So I'm just going to talk about my study method. So I took the course, I went to class, and classes for me was every day 3 hours during the week. Um, but sometimes it's like 3 times a week for 3 hours and so. But yeah, I took notes and then I came home and I would read all of the material for the class and highlight and take notes in the margins of the books. I didn't take any extra notes because it takes a really long time to go through the material itself, and I really wanted to just focus on understanding what was in the book rather than writing notes that I might not even read later. Um, and like missing out on, I generally like to like stick to the book, because if I miss anything in my notes, then I'll miss out on that whole thing. So I like to like go over the book a lot. So I read through the books once, and then the second time I read through them, anything that I didn't remember, I wrote on a note card. Like every single detail, I would just write on a note card that you don't remember, because like the MCAT is like they'll pull out really random small details that you were just like, why do that I didn't even realize that was important. So why not just like learn it and make sure you know it all, you know? So that's why I make note cards for everything. Um, and so I continuously go over my note cards every now and then. And since I've basically gone through all the material by now, now I'm just taking practice tests and doing online problems. So practice tests, they with Princeton Review, you get like 11 AAMC tests, which are the actual tests that the AAMC sets, practice tests that they set out, and so they're the most representative of the MCAT. So take those closer to your MCAT. And then there's Princeton Review tests that are called TPR tests, and those are a little harder than the actual MCAT. So you should take those early on, but don't get discouraged by them because they are harder. So you'll get worse scores on them. Yeah, and then another thing is the science workbook I showed you with Princeton Review. The problems that are in there are all online, and Princeton Review gives you that when you take the course with them. And I like to do online problems because that's the actual MCAT is on a computer, and you're going to be reading on a computer, and there's a big difference between having a book and reading on the computer. So I would definitely, anytime you can practice stuff on a computer, that's what I would do, so you can get real practice. Um, yeah, I think that's all I've been doing so far, and I've heard generally study like around 7 hours a day. That's what I've been doing after work, which is kind of crazy right now, but it's really improving my score, whatever I'm doing right now. So yeah, I took a practice test yesterday and I was really happy with my score. So I felt like I was at the level to give you guys some advice. And I haven't actually taken my MCAT yet. It'll be in a month. So just don't take this as solid advice until I get my MCAT score and it's great and I can let you guys know. But I wanted to do a before and after video. So maybe if I like gain some experience after, I can let you guys know what the difference was. Um, but yeah, if you guys have anything to say, if I said anything wrong and details wrong, just let me know in the comments. Yeah, and if you guys have any suggestions also, maybe I'll add it in my next video. Hopefully, if there's a lot of people that want to watch it. Yeah, and also if you have any questions, just let me know and I'll answer them. Alright, thank you.